Welcome to Kansas Works Understanding LinkedIn Workshop. In this workshop, we're going to discuss creating your account, creating your profile, managing your account, and the different tools in the website that you can use to help you out. These are the two main topics of discussion that we're going to cover during this workshop: developing an effective profile and network interactions. Even if the website changes its format, these areas of content should stay the same. Under our first topic of discussion, developing an effective profile, we're going to talk about these four subcategories: using a great headline, choosing an effective photo, streamlining your summary, and formatting your experience. A great headline is one that will help people and organizations find you and encourage them to know more about you. If you were introduced as a newspaper headline, what would it say? Your LinkedIn headline is what generates the interest for recruiters and other companies to want to learn more about you. You get 120 characters to do this. Make sure you reflect your value and direction, and remember, interesting will get you noticed. Consider your value and direction. When you talk about yourself, remember what value you have for an employer. Don't sell yourself short. Also, if possible, place your goals within your headline. It will demonstrate your non-static focus on self-improvement and your willingness to be more. Interesting will get you noticed. Employers and human resource personnel search for people by using keywords and phrases. Remember, use job-relevant words and phrases. Stay away from generalized and watered-down experience, skills, and results or impacts. In these next couple slides, we're going to go over some good examples of great headlines. In this example, the person is stating who they are, what they've done, and what they've accomplished. Here's another great example. This individual stated that they were a Fort Riley SFL Transition Assistance Program Counselor. That's a very specific role. Not a lot of people know what it is, so they went the next step down and they explained what they did in that role. Here's another great example. Transitioning veteran with accounting and finance degrees seeking opportunities in a private business sector. Tells you who they are, what they can bring to the table, and what they're looking for. The next few slides are going to cover poor examples. In this instance, truck driver or U.S. Army retired. Doesn't convey a lot of information. There's a lot of questions to be asked. Truck driver who has driven over 50,000 miles safely with 0 accidents. Or for U.S. Army retired, talk about what they did in the Army. U.S. Army telecommunications specialist with 20 years of service and 20 years of experience. Here's another example of a headline that's missing information. Savvy and seasoned business entrepreneur. What were they savvy and seasoned in? What business did they start? What was their profit margin like? How many people do they employ? There's a lot more that could be added. Student at Kansas State University. Things could be added to this as well. What's their GPA? What's their area of study? When are they supposed to graduate? And what are they planning on moving to next? Next, we're going to talk about choosing an effective photo. We're going to talk about why. We're going to go over some good examples and some poor examples. Why we use an effective photo. Multiple online researchers believe that your photo makes your profile over 14 times more likely to be viewed by others. Here's some good examples of great LinkedIn profile pictures. They're dressed professionally, They're smiling. They look like someone that you might want to work with. They appear friendly and approachable. Here's some examples of pictures that need a little bit of work. They look serious or stern. They don't look very approachable. They don't look like someone that you'd want to work next to for 8 hours a day. Here's another set of good examples. Non-distracting backgrounds. Again, dressed professionally. They're smiling. Here's another set of pictures that need some work. It's too much going on the backgrounds. They're distracting. The individual isn't the centerpiece of the picture. That the food is, or the photobombing person is with the red hat, or the background is. Make sure that you're the focus of the picture. Here's some more good examples of LinkedIn photos. Make sure you use a current photo. You will get cross-referenced. If an employer is looking for you through LinkedIn, that employer is going to be looking for you through Facebook as well. So the pictures should match. And we'll go over Facebook a little bit later. Here's some examples of photos that really need to get updated. Make sure you use a current photo. You will get cross-referenced. Remember, the pictures should match. Here's another set of good examples. Look the part in your pictures. If you're applying for an executive or office administrative position, wear a suit and tie. If you're applying for a more casual style of dress, then a polo is good. You need to look the part when you're selecting your profile picture. Here's some examples of pictures that really need some work. As we said earlier, you're going to get cross-reference between LinkedIn and Facebook or whatever social media site that they want to check. These would make great Facebook pictures, not necessarily great pictures for LinkedIn. There's a very big difference. Under the topic of streamlining your summary, these are the subtopics that we're going to talk about. Encouraging your reader to read more, summing up details, less is more, and then we're going to go over some examples. Keep your summary in line with your headline. Give the reader general details that will encourage them to continue to read more about your information. Interesting will get you noticed, and interesting will keep you memorable. Whatever you talk about in your summary, explain it in detail in your account. Don't leave the reader hanging or bring up topics that will not be discussed later. Less is more. Don't bog your reader down with too many details. Use your summary as a great way to introduce yourself and encourage them to read more within your profile. In these next couple slides, we're going to go over some good examples of a good summary. Here's a great example. Take a second to read this to yourself and think, would this be someone that would be good to hire? Here's another example of a great summary. This person uses a different format, speaking directly to the reader. Hello, my name is, this is who I am, and this is what I do. Take a second to read it, and again, think if this would be a good person to hire. In this next section, formatting your experience, we're going to go over these topics. Take a second to read them on your own. JobVite is a national recruiter site that develops reports based on the opinions of 800 plus recruiters in the United States. This is a small insight on how important it is to use the right phrase and words to get you noticed. These are general things to watch out for in developing your experience. Talk about them in detail. Be specific about the skills that you have that make you good at your job. Think about a statement or two which references assets which make you an excellent fit for the job or career path you're striving for. Show results. Don't just talk about your responsibilities and duties. Help the reader of your profile see the scope and depth of your experience, skills, and accomplishments by adding a result. Such results may be shown by a number: 25 vehicles maintained, $15,000 saved, or improved by 27%. Details help define impact. This will separate you from others who are competing with you for employment. Cut the jargon. Make sure anyone can understand what you're talking about. None of your impressive feats will reach the appropriate hiring manager if you can't at least explain it to human resources or recruiters first. Non-laypersons can't understand what you're talking about. Military and other occupations will have words or phrases that have other meanings somewhere else or are unrecognized by other professionals outside of their own. Help them understand what you're trying to say. Explain it, define it, or remove it. Abbreviations and other career-specific terms need to be explained in your profile or defined. If it becomes too difficult, you may want to just remove it. Using the same buzzwords over and over again render them less effective. They recommend avoiding them if you want to truly stand out from the crowd. They are motivated, creative, enthusiastic, track record, passionate, successful, driven, leadership, strategic, and extensive experience. Now go through your profile and make sure you're not using any of those words. They just sound redundant once you see them again and again. Don't overlook the small spelling and grammar mistakes you might leave in your profile. These simple errors mean a lot to your reader when you're trying to make a good first impression. In the next couple of slides, we're going to go over different examples of showing your experience. Here's a great example of an experience statement. This statement shows what they did, how much they were responsible for how long, resulting in what. Here's our second example. Again, talks about what they did and what their results were. Here's another great example of an experience statement. Again, quantitative data. 14 employees, not just employees. Company standards. Results. We're moving on to our networking interactions in our LinkedIn workshop. Under networking interactions, these are our three main topics that we're going to discuss. When you open your LinkedIn webpage, you will be able to use tools such as this search bar. This search bar allows you to find people, companies, or groups. We will go over some of the filters available to you through LinkedIn to help you find what you're looking for. In this scenario, we will use our search bar to find someone in HR and add information into these filters. We're going to pretend we're a human resource personnel in the United States Army. We want to move to Kansas City and work for Amazon, and we're looking for someone to reach out to in that company that is also a veteran to maybe inquire about them becoming our mentor to help guide us through the transition process and the application process into Amazon. So in our search bar, we're going to type in human resources. We're going to use Kansas City for the location, the current company Amazon, and past company US Army. The results of this search bring up 5 people. We can view their pages to see who we think would be the best mentor for us. Someone that can give us some insight on their thoughts of the company and how to excel through the application process. We have identified an individual we think we would like to connect with. We can click on connect and send them a quick message. Remember, keep things professional. Here's an example of a message reaching out to someone for some insight. Keep it short and professional. Managing your connections. Once a connection has been made through LinkedIn, you should manage them by staying in contact. We're going to go over messaging and notifications. This is much like the instant messenger found on other social websites. This will help you and your clients ask questions or give advice. Once a connection has been made through LinkedIn, you will receive notifications such as work anniversaries, birthdays, and other important days. This will encourage you to stay in contact with your professional connections. What you post and like will not only be seen on your page, but on the page of your connections. Remember, this is a professional social media outlet. Keep in mind that you will be cross-referenced when you're job searching. We highly recommend making your other social media accounts as private as you can if you have questionable pictures or comments on those pages. It's very important to manage your social network environment by policing what people see about you. Reevaluate your friends, edit your photos, and watch your posts. Try to avoid people, companies, and groups that ideologically divide. You don't want to offend one half of a group by siding with the other. Remember, LinkedIn is more of a professional website. That concludes the Kansas Works Understanding LinkedIn workshop. If you have any questions, please reach out to your local Kansas Works office.